Hey, what's up, guys? Man, I'm mainly doing this video because I heard something on the MMA Beat, November 16, 2017. It is on YouTube. You can look it up for yourself. There was a statement made by Jeff Wagenheim at the 21-minute and 44-second mark. Now, I really don't know much about Jeff Wagenheim. And I really don't want to run the guy down, rip him, or be critical. But he made a statement that when I heard, I wish, I wish I could have gone live, but I was working and I could not. But I wanted to immediately respond. They were talking about Conor McGregor, the Bellator incident where he went into the cage when Charlie Ward won a fight, and they were talking about McGregor receiving punishment. Who would punish him, what kind of punishment he would receive, if any, and from who. Alright, and at 21 minutes and 44 seconds, Jeff Wagenheim says, in regards to Conor McGregor, is he bigger than the sport? Well, we're going to find out that he probably is. I am a fan of, guys, boxing, MMA. I have my favorites, and I have, throughout the years. But one thing you will never hear me say is that one fighter or one athlete in any sport is bigger than the sport. This is just ridiculous. This should never be said, never be thought of. Don't even put this in people's heads potentially to even think. The biggest example, the biggest and best example, who was and has been bigger than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan retired from the NBA 3 times. Did the NBA shut down? Did people stop picking up basketballs and stop playing basketball? Did people stop striving to get to the NBA because Michael Jordan retired? Did the game stop? Last I checked, the NBA is still in business making billions of dollars. College basketball still being played, high school basketball still being played. Yes, Michael Jordan is, in my opinion, the greatest athlete of all time, but the game did not stop because he stopped playing basketball. It didn't. Many followed him and continued the game after he left. Wayne Gretzky. How long ago did he retire from hockey? Almost, 20 years ago at this point? Isn't the NHL still in business? People still playing hockey worldwide? I mean, on and on and on. Jerry Rice, he retired from football. Do they still have wide receivers in football? Are they still playing football? If Conor McGregor retired today, are you watching this video? Are you going to stop watching MMA? Are you going to stop watching the UFC? I don't think so. Conor, in 5 to 10 years, within 5 to 10 years, whenever Conor stops, MMA is going to continue, and we will be watching. There will be the next big star will come along. There will be the next guy. I remember a few years ago, before Conor McGregor, there was a show on Sirius XM called Sirius XM Fight Club radio show. There was a discussion about what the UFC is gonna do. They're losing stars. They're fading stars. Stars are aging. Anderson Silva, GSP. When these guys were, near the end of their reigns, or, were about to leave. It was like, oh my God, who's the UFC gonna have? Who's gonna be the next pay-per-view star? Like it was a big Like a big concern. Everybody should freak out. And then what happened? Along came Ronda Rousey. Along came Conor McGregor, and the UFC continued. The sport continued to thrive, and it reached bigger and even better heights. So, when Conor leaves, are we supposed to think, oh man, the MMA gonna shut down? No, man. Look, nobody is bigger than their sport, man. Tiger Woods, is Tiger Woods still in his prime? Is golf still being played? Golf is still making plenty of money. Come on. So to say that Conor is bigger than MMA or bigger than the UFC or bigger than anything, or any athlete is bigger than any sport is just inaccurate and does not need to be said, man. All right. Now, when it comes to the Bellator incident with Conor McGregor, I haven't really heard many people talk about this, but was this a calculated move by Conor to put the UFC on notice that, hey, I'm willing to appear in a Bellator cage. I can make headlines and cause a big incident by going on Bellator TV. I can cause a spike in their ratings. Was Conor trying to send a message to the UFC by doing this? I'm wondering that, man. When it comes to this negotiation you want to do about being a promoter and having a cut at the UFC, all this and that. Was he trying to send a statement to these guys, man? It's possible. Something to think about. Was he trying to put something in their head where they freak out over him going to Bellator or doing business with another MMA company? All right, and finally, let me touch on this. Now, I watched and listened to the MMA Hour this past Monday. What was that? November 13th, I believe. Ariel Helwani was interviewing Mike Mazzulli. He was the guy who regulated the event in Ireland. He is the head of the Association of Boxing Commissioners here in the States. And he said on the show that the UFC told him that that they already pulled Conor McGregor from UFC 219, as a preemptive strike, to punish him for what he did, for going into the Bellator cage and causing the ruckus, all this and that. And Mike Mazzulli, he said he commended the UFC for it. It was, he felt that it was a good move. He approved and he was at peace with that move. All right, and Mike Mazzulli, of course, having the power that he does, he is looking to possibly sanction McGregor and recommend that other commissions do that. All right, so Conor McGregor's manager / agent, whatever the official title is, Audie Attar. All right, I don't know much about Audie Attar. I just know that when during the Mayweather McGregor build up, I think it was like I don't know if it was the media day, whenever they had the outdoor press conferences, and they bumped into Paulie Malignaggi. I remember he looked at Paulie and in the the slimiest, creepiest look and sound, he said, you broke the terms of your contract, Paulie. When it came to Paulie getting paid, came out very bad, man. They should have paid the guy. Even though I'm a McGregor guy and not a Malignaggi guy, they should have paid the guy. All right. Now, Audie Attar, he said that to MMA Fighting, he said that it was not true that Conor McGregor was pulled from UFC 219. That that was not true. That they were not pulled from the card. And this is why Conor McGregor needs to let the UFC be his promoter, and why I am considering they have already, failed or had a failure as being a promoter. this was not a smart statement by Audiatar. You know, why not roll with the punches, man? Look, when I first heard Mike Mazzulli's statement about Conor being pulled from UFC 219, I thought, damn, I bought a hook, line, and sinker. I'm like, man, the UFC, damn, they, having a preemptive strike. They sanctioned the guy, I was not thinking much about it. And then as time went along, and I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, it was not officially announced that Conor was on UFC 219. Now, I know they could have been holding that information back and could have announced it later. But, the fact is, the guy was not announced for the card. And this it could have been, in all likelihood, the UFC just saying something to Mike Mazzulli that would soften the blow, that would cause him to maybe soften his stance on coming at McGregor hard, saying that, well, the UFC kind of self-punished the guy, so we don't have to come down so hard on him. This is the game. This is the negotiating game, the promotion game. These guys are smart. These guys have been around for a long time. They know how to deal with commissions and commissioners and all these sorts of people, man. So they said something that, that was going to help the situation. Whether it was true or not, Mike Mazzulli had bought a hook, line, and sinker. And he felt good about what the UFC was doing. And then Audiatar just comes along and just kind of blows it up, ruins it. What was he trying to have, an ego? Was he trying to say, show that they were not hurt by the situation? That they are in control some kind of way or something, man? It was not smart. It was not smart. He should have said no comment if he was asked about it. It's something I can't really talk about at the moment. Anything, but he just basically undercut the UFC. And Mike Mazzulli could say, did the UFC try to, they weren't being honest about it? Now McGregor could get full sanctions if they decide to do so. Instead of him maybe getting a lighter suspension if he gets suspended. So, they a failure by Team McGregor, by Audiatar, the manager / agent. And these guys talking about being promoters, self-promoting, wanting to promote, wanting a piece of the pie. Being business partners, co-owners. They failed at playing the game, man. Failed at playing the game. So, should have kept his mouth shut on that one, man. Had to comment on that. A big mistake by Audiatar, man. So, I think that's it, guys. I just want to comment on these things real quick and let me know what you guys think. And I'll check in with you guys soon, man. Thanks for watching.